East West Players has always championed Asian American stories since day one, and created empathy for our community. And I think these stories are super powerful, not only for us, but for other people of color as well.
East West Players is where we find ourselves. As an actor, it's where I found myself, given opportunities to get up on stage and show who I really was, opportunities I didn't get anywhere else.
Please find a way to support the East West Players now in their time of need.
And with your support, East West Players can continue to thrive and tell our stories, which are so important, more than ever, to tell our stories and to continue with the legacy of this theater. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting East West Players.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hudson Yang. Thank you for joining us. But before we formally begin our gala tonight, we wanted to take a moment to directly address what is happening here in Los Angeles and across the country and provide some updates.
We have been working on this virtual event for weeks now, and so portions of it have been pre-recorded or scripted in advance of what has transpired in the last 24 to 48 hours. So though we have tried to update and adjust all things, they may not quite be. We also plan to broadcast this show from the theater tonight, but unfortunately, due to the unrest in downtown Los Angeles and the curfew, we are streaming from our homes. So we apologize in advance for any technical issues. We're also hoping to have our phone lines open tonight, but at this time we are not able to. You can email info@eastwestplayers.org if you run into any challenges or to donate to us directly.
The recent killings of unarmed Black men and women of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor hurt our hearts and our souls.
We, the Asian and Asian American community, in recent weeks have had our own experiences of racism and violence, and we acknowledge that this pales in comparison to the systemized racism and brutality that the Black community experiences day in and out.
Black Lives Matter. We hear you, we see you, and we're here for you.
We also want to make an additional announcement. Earlier today, our friend the Hamel Asians, who you will see tonight in 2 numbers, started an Asian Artists for Black Lives campaign.
We would like to announce tonight that with your help, we will provide a 2-to-1 match towards their goal. Let us grieve together. Let us speak out together. Let us lift each other up. Let us do so safely, however. Let us not be distracted from the issue at hand. The injustice and the violence that is inflicted daily on Black lives in this country.
Though the cycle of oppression of communities of color in this country did not start with us, our hope is that it ends with us. Thank you.
Every inch of me is trembling, but not from the cold. Something is familiar, like a dream I can reach but not quite hold. I can sense you there, like a friend I've always known. I'm arriving, and it feels like I am home. I have always been a fortress, cold secrets deep inside. You have secrets too, but you don't have to hide. Show yourself, I'm dying to meet you. Show yourself, it's your turn. Are you the one I've been looking for all of my life? Oh, show yourself, I'm ready to learn. I've never felt so certain. All my life I've been torn, but I'm here for a reason. Could it be the reason I
East-West Players is where Asian American Pacific Islander stories and talent have been seen and developed for over 54 years. Please help with its continuation. As we move through this COVID time, we need our artists and our storytellers even more to help us find our voice and identity through these turbulent times. If you can, please donate and help grow our culture. Go to eastwestplayers.org and donate what you can. Thank you.
Your donation to East-West Players makes a huge difference. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, DeeDee, Joan, and AJ.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and welcome to East-West Players' first virtual gala.
My name is Tess Paras.
And I'm Vincent Rodriguez III.
Vinny, it's so good to see you.
Tess, hey!
Yeah, how are you? Oh, actually, I have a question.
Okay.
This is something that I've been starting off every conversation with. What has been working for you during quarantine to make you feel good, stuff like that? Like any tips?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually it happens at first sign of my alarm going off. My Fitbit wakes me up, it vibrates on my wrist, and I smile, and I breathe, take in the day, and I start my morning mantra and some affirmations, and just get my head on straight and visualize the day. It's been really helpful lately, especially it's now 11 weeks for us here in LA. So how about you?
Yeah, man, 11 weeks when you say it that way. Yeah, it's all about, keeping my head clear, spirituality, mantras, affirmations, all that. I put mine in a journal.
Oh yeah, me too. Actually, I got mine right here, my 5-second journal. I love this thing, man.
Right here.
Awesome.
Yeah, but it's full. I mean, I filled up this one too, with some other thoughts, and this one, and this too, and these journals here as well. And I've been filling up kind of like almost a journal a week. I don't more. This one is the pink one's just for affirmation. But then I also have these, and I think I'm going to try and journal in this one tonight. So yeah, I've just been having a lot of thoughts that I need to write down. And it's been helpful, totally helpful.
No, that's great. That's great. You gotta take care of yourself however you can and keep those creative juices flowing.
Right.
It's been so hot lately. I've been just peeing every 15 minutes, just trying to stay hydrated.
Yeah, that is just back to the basics, staying hydrated. Right. I drink maybe 64 ounces or so of this stuff a day, just keeping it healthy, just kicking it.
That looks healthy. What's really healthy too is the fact that we've had so much time and we've been able to reach out to, like, I texted with my mom and my family and just keeping in touch with friends and, video chats. It's been super fun. How about you? Keeping in touch?
I keep my friends close. I've had some friends that I've been growing. So I would like you to meet my besties, my scallions. This is Hobbs and Shaw and Dominic and Letty and Han and Mia and Brian. These are my scallion friends. What up?
Your friends have very familiar names to movies I've never seen. You know what? Let's see what the EWP has been up to over the past year, huh?
Yeah, let's watch, friends.
Snehal.
Celebrating its 54th season, East-West Players is proud to continue our legacy as a seminal producer of Asian American artistic works and the longest-running theater of color in the country. In these uncertain times, though our programs may have gone online, our mission to raise the visibility of the Asian Pacific American experience continues to be urgent and vital, if not more so. Our 54th season, Culture Shock, was one for the record books. It included the uproarious LA premiere of Viet Gone, the acclaimed world premiere of Man of God, and closed with EWP's groundbreaking production of Mamma Mia, which went on to be the most attended production in the David Henry Hwang Theater. Who would have thought? Our 54th anniversary season, We Are the Ones We Are Waiting For, opened with the spellbinding Hannah and the Dread Gazebo. In partnership with the Fountain Theater, Hannah was followed by the smack-talking LA premiere of The Great Leap, co-produced with the historic Pasadena Playhouse. For the holiday season, our theater turned into a winter wonderland with Sandra Singh Lo's autobiographical romp, Sugar Plum Fairy. Our season's grand finale was to be a thrilling new production of Stephen Sondheim's Assassins as part of a citywide festival celebrating the acclaimed composer. On the eve of previews, we were forced to halt rehearsals. We hope to bring you this subversive and timely show when we can safely gather in the theater once more. East West Players remains committed to equity, inclusion, and access for marginalized communities. In the past few weeks, we have moved our arts education programs online so that they are accessible for free to teachers and students throughout the country. EWP's Professional Development Program, Actors Conservatory, and David Henry Hwang Writers Institute have also moved online to offer training and resources to aspiring artists of color. The recent weeks have shown so many of us how much community matters, how much of a privilege it is to enjoy life together in person. We very much look forward to the days when we can gather again and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for joining us tonight and for your generous support of East West Players.
Han, did you see Mamma Mia? I saw it. It was so good. I wish I could have taken you as my date. Shaw, don't be jealous. Are you guys fighting over me? No, Han, no, Shaw, stop. Oh my God, you guys, stop fighting over me.
I don't know, Snehal, I think they're fighting. I don't know what's going, wait, I think we're on, hold on. Hey, hi, wow, Tess, what a year EWP has had, huh?
Yeah, totally. Whew, what a year.
You know, Tess, you should keep hydrating. Anyways, big shout out to our titanium and platinum sponsors for this evening. Disney, ABC Television Group, Viacom CBS Entertainment Diversity, Comcast NBC Universal, Julia and Ken Gao, and Randy and Mari Tamura, as well as our Copper and Friends level sponsors seen here.
East West Players Gala is traditionally its biggest fundraiser of the year. You might remember Vinny and I from when we hosted the 51st Gala a few years back. This year's gala was initially postponed, as was EWP's biggest show of the year, Assassins, and its touring Theater for Youth show. So, your support is more important now than ever in ensuring a future for East West Players. So we hope you will make a contribution today.
You can do it right here by clicking the donate button. You can also visit eastwestplayers.org or text EWP GIVE to 44-321 and donate easily that way. No amount is too small.
Or too big. And there's a silent auction going on. So much good stuff. You can go to ewp2020.givesmart.com to take a look.
Speaking of good stuff, Tess, I mean, you always look amazing, but that dress is really cool. I love it. What is that?
Actually, it is just a throw blanket that I got off my couch and I put a belt on it. Because I haven't been really wearing actual clothes, but I thought it was important to dress up, so comfy and cute.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's turn things over to Snehal, shall we?
Sure. Thank you for joining us. Be safe and well, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done.
I think we're done. Oh God, I'm so hot. Oh my gosh, I'm so hot. You guys, I can't move in this room because like we did renovations and I had to build stuff. Tess, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Tess, you have to help me with this ring light situation. It's like hot. It's like getting hot. Okay, I'll text you. I'll text you.
Yeah. Comes and
Okay.
know what to do. So, okay.
For 54 years, East West Players has been at the forefront of the movement to tell Asian American stories by Asian American artists. And in this time of need, your donation is all the more critical to help East West Players do this for another 54 years. Please consider a generous donation to East West Players.
East West Players has been my theater home since 1987. They've always been supportive of everything I do as a writer, an actor, and a director. I love them.
Especially during this time of rising anti-Asian violence, representation counts. So please donate to East West Players.
Hello everyone, and welcome to East West Players' 54th Anniversary Visionary Awards, Dress Up from the Waist Edition. My name is Snehal Desai, and I'm the producing artistic director of East West Players, and I'm coming to you from our taverna tonight. We are so glad you could join us as we close out what's been an extraordinary few weeks celebrating Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. We want to first recognize and thank all of the frontline workers who have risked and continue to risk their lives every day, from healthcare workers, so many as we know who are Asian American, to those who have made sure that the shelves were stocked at the supermarket. Since mid-March, EW has contributed over $25,000 in funds, supplies, and resources for frontline workers and other nonprofits at the forefront of the battle against COVID-19. We will continue these efforts. East West Players is an organization that sits at the intersection of the arts and social justice. We believe seeing and hearing your story told matters. Representation matters. Visibility matters. Now more than ever, we are also a space where community can gather and come together. And until, again, we can do that in person, we will continue to hold that space virtually or in any other way that we can. Lately, there are two things in particular that I have been thinking a lot about. That artists, the power artists have to affect transformative change through their work. And that silence is acquiescence to the status quo. There's a quote of Martin Luther King Jr.'s that I've been saying a lot lately and thinking about. Our lives begin the day we become silent about the things that matter. All of our honorees tonight did not and do not sit silent. They have time and again taken a stand against injustice. They have spoken up, and more than anything, they have turned words into action. From Dan's decades-long fight for representation, visibility, and access in Hollywood, to Adele's stand for equity for women in the industry, to George and Sakaye Aratani's journey from the camps to ensuring that the forced incarceration of Japanese Americans is not forgotten, and that our community has safe spaces where it can gather. Dan, Adele, and George and Sakaye have time and again stood their ground and fought for what they believed in and what they believed was right and just. This is why we are honoring them tonight. That, and it's long overdue for all of them. Tonight you will also meet a stunning array of artists who call EWP home. These two things, the power of art to change, to affect change, and speaking out and making sure Asian American voices are heard and our stories told, is what we are asking for your support tonight. Every dollar we raise tonight will go towards fighting for visibility of our community and the support of our artists. Our goal is to raise $200,000 to help East West Players. Don't worry that we are at 150,000 already. And so our goal is to raise another 50K tonight. With your generous support, we hope that we can do that. A little later in the program, we will highlight some of the ways that we plan to help our artistic community. But for now, let's get on with the show. You are members of the company from the blockbuster musical Hamilton, led by two members from the EWP family, Joseph Morales and Marcus Choi. Take it away, guys.
Hello, my name is Joseph Morales. I played Tommy in the East West Players production of Tommy, and currently I'm playing Hamilton in the national tour of Hamilton. East West Players has been a huge part of my life. I did Tommy at a time where I wasn't really sure I wanted to be a performer anymore, but the East West Players family opened my heart back up again and showed me that it was exactly where I was supposed to be. So thank you, East West Players. I'm honored to be a part of this evening. I wish that I were in person, but I'm coming to you live from my bedroom in Florida. But we will get through this, and I'll see you on the other side of it. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
I was younger than you are now, when I was given my first command. I led my men straight into a massacre. I witnessed their deaths firsthand. I made every mistake and felt the shame rise in me. And even now I lie awake, knowing history has its eyes on me. History has its eyes on me. Let me tell you what I wish I'd known when I was young and dreamed of glory. You have no control. Who lives, who dies, who tells your story? I know that we can win. I know that greatness lies in you. Remember, from here on in, history has its eyes on you. History has its eyes on you.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey, yo, I'm just on my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'ma get a scholarship to King's College. I probably shouldn't brag, but dad got amazed and astonished. The problem is I got a lot of brains, but no polish. I gotta holler just to be heard with every word. I drop knowledge, I'm a diamond in the rough. Shine a piece of coal, try to reach my goal. My power of speech, unimpeachable. Only 19, but my mind is older. As New York City streets get colder, I shoulder every burden, every disadvantage. I've learned to manage. I don't have a gun to brandish. I walk these streets famished. The plan is to fan this spark into a flame. But damn, it's getting dark, so let me spell out the name. I am the ALEXANDER. We are meant to be a colony that runs independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps shitting on us endlessly. Essentially, they tax us relentlessly. The King George turns around and runs a spending spree. He ain't ever gonna set his descendants free. So there will be a revolution in this century. And to me,
says in parentheses,
don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. I will lay down my life if it sets us free. Eventually, you'll see my ascendancy. And I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey, I'm just on my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey, I'm just on my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot.
Everybody say, whoa, 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 hey, whoa, whoa, and let them hear you. Let's go. I said, shout it to the rooftops. Said to the rooftops. Come on, let's go. Rise up when you living on your knees. You rise up. Tell your brother that he's gotta rise up. Tell your your sister that she's gotta rise up. When are these colonies gonna rise up? 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 Rise up!
I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. When's it gonna get me? In my sleep 7 feet ahead of me. If I see it coming, do I run or do I let it be? Is it like a beat without a melody? See, I never thought I'd live past 20. Where I come from, some get half as many. Ask anybody why we're living fast. And we laugh, reach for a flash. We have to make this moment last. That's plenty. Scratch that. This is not a moment, it's a movement. Where all the hungriest brothers with something to prove with. Foes oppose us. We take an honest stand. We roll like Moses, claiming our promised land. And if we win our independence, is that a guarantee of freedom for our descendants? Or will the blood we shed begin an endless cycle of vengeance and death with no defendants? I know the action in the street is exciting, but Jesus, between all the bleeding and fighting, I've been reading and writing. We need to handle our financial situation. Are we a nation of states? What's the state of our nation? I pass patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation. I'm laughing in the face of casualties of sorrow. For the first time I'm thinking past tomorrow, and I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey, you're just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. We gonna rise up, time to take a shot. We gonna rise up, time to take a shot. We gonna rise up, it's time to take a shot. It's time to take a shot. It's time to take a shot. Take a shot, shot. Hey yo, it's time to take a shot, time to take a shot. And I am not throwing away my shot.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Ono from ABC7, and as I come to you from a very empty and safe studio, even our cameras are robotic, and my director is a good half a block away in another part of the building. So it is a pleasure to be part of the East-West Players' first virtual gala, and I want to sincerely state how honored I am to present this year's Visionary Award to the dearest of friends and the most deserving of people, the Aratani Foundation. And to say that the Aratani Foundation has had an impact on the Asian American and specifically the Japanese American community here in Southern California and nationally would be an understatement. Founded in 1994 by George and Sakai, their generosity has transformed Little Tokyo. From the Japanese American National Museum's George and Sakai Central Hall, to the Japanese American Cultural and Community Center's Aratani Theater, to the Union Center for the Arts Aratani Courtyard. This legacy and work continues today, led by their daughters, Linda and Donna. In the last 5 years alone, the foundation has provided over $250,000 in grants to East-West Players that has supported 6 new productions centered around the Japanese American experience, from Residents Elsewhere, that was a partnership with JANM, to East-West Players' historic partnership with the JACCC to bring Allegiance, starring George Takei, to Los Angeles. Allegiance was nothing short of a citywide event, bringing over 30,000 audience members to Little Tokyo and bringing the experience of the internment of Japanese Americans alive for thousands of students. George Aratani himself had been incarcerated at the Gila River concentration camp, and Sakai, who was Sakai Inoue at the time, had been interned at the nearby Poston camp. Listen to this quote. "It is my philosophy to help the ones hurt by the mass evacuation," George said. "I myself lost a family business, so 85 to 95% goes to Japanese American organizations." This philosophy from George has left a lasting legacy that has created safe spaces for the Asian American community to gather and has helped foster the telling of our stories so that the sacrifice of the Issei and the Nisei in this country is not forgotten, and our collective heritage and history is celebrated. This organization, this family, is our lifeblood in so many ways, and it is with greatest of honor that I present East-West Players Visionary Award to George Sakae, and the entire Aratani family. And here to accept and say a few words are our dear friends, Sakae and Linda Aratani. Congratulations.
Hello, everybody. I'm sitting with my mother, Sakae Aratani, at her home in the Hollywood Hills. And we just would like to send a message to the East West Players, thanking them for this very kind recognition. Do you want to say anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I recall the wonderful evening we spent on the opening night of the East West Player on Santa Monica Boulevard. Both Noble McCarthy and Tim Dang was just fabulous. And we want to appreciate everything they've done for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
One singular sensation, every little step she takes. One thrilling combination, every move that she makes. One smile and suddenly nobody else will do. You know you'll never be lonely with you.
Moment in her presence, and you can't forget the rest. For the girl is second best to none. Sigh, give her your attention. I really have to mention she's the one, shoulder up,
singular sensation.
Stay pulled up,
Point,
and
point.
flick, step, kick, hat to the head.
3, 4.
With the hips,
Follow through. Up,
down, feel the phrase.
right, down, point.
Step, rush, forward, give her your attention. Tip the hat, tip the hat, tip the hat, tip the hat. One moment in her presence, and you can't forget the rest. For the girl is second best to none. Sigh, give her your attention. I really have to mention
When I was a kid, I didn't see very many people on stage that looked like me. So that is why I believe East West Players as an organization is so important, because it represents diversity on and off the stage. And that is so important, especially for the younger generation.
Please be generous and donate to East West Players.
Your donation to East West Players makes a difference.
Aloha everyone, Tim Dang here.
Hope all of you are staying safe at home. I miss seeing all of you in person. Congratulations to East West Players on their 54th anniversary. Daniel Mayeda. Many of his esteemed colleagues call him that. Dan Mayeda, a more casual moniker his friends use, but some of us know him as Dan the Man. Dan is the longest serving member of the board of directors in East West Players history, completing 26 years, nearly half of East West Players' existence, and served in many positions over those years, including president of the board, gala committee chair, legal counsel, and informally, crisis manager. I have made many a phone call to Dan the Man at all hours of the day and night for his mild-mannered, fair-minded, thoughtful advice ranging from finance issues to offering perspectives of what-ifs regarding some of the more controversial productions we have staged. Dan, you are the only person during the Safer at Home policy that I would wear a coat and tie for, regardless of whether I am wearing pants. We are all here to honor you. On a broader note, Dan the Man is a big picture kind of guy. No pun intended, but he is about who is in the picture. He is the chair of the Asian Pacific American Media Coalition, and in fact, helped found the coalition in 2000 and helped negotiate MOUs with the 4 major television networks. He annually meets with the network presidents and advocates for more opportunities and inclusion of APIs as actors, writers, and directors. We owe it to him for the growth of more API visibility on TV and film in starring roles and series regulars. More API writers and directors' names appear in the credits. We thank Dan the Man for his tireless efforts in making sure that we are seen, we are heard, and we are integral to the story. So please put your hands together wherever you are in presenting the Visionary Award to Dan the Man.
Thanks, Tim, for that terrific introduction. One of the most rewarding experiences I've had at EWP was helping Tim fulfill his vision for jumpstarting the conversation around diversifying theater. Now, we all know that the American theater is overwhelmingly white, not only in terms of its leaders, but also its funders, playwrights, and audiences. And Tim understood that by the year 2042, America was going to become a majority minority country. And so he devised something that he called the 51% preparedness plan for the American theater. And I helped him come up with some language to execute that plan. Lord knows we still need to have a conversation about diversity, and not only just talk, but also taking concrete steps to make that happen. And I'm proud to serve on a board that makes that happen every day, not only locally, but also with its influence across the country. Now, I have to admit, I feel a little bit awkward right now, standing here alone in my living room, desperately in need of a haircut, wearing a tux, talking to an iPhone. But you know, I bought this tux several months ago in preparation for the gala, and coronavirus be damned, I'm gonna wear it. I also kind of expected to be reading the speech off a teleprompter, but you know, my teleprompter broke, so I guess we'll just do this the old-fashioned way. I first joined the board back in the last century in 1994. That was the year the World Wide Web was born. True story, look it up. EWP at that time was operating out of a 99-seat black box space in an area that the real estate agents like to call Silver Lake adjacent. But soon we were making plans to move to Little Tokyo. But first we had to raise an enormous amount of money, not only to pay for the capital costs of construction, but also to support tripling of the operating budget within just a few months' time. But with East West Players' friends and supporters, we did it. And over the years, EWP has faced many challenges, but in every case, with our friends and supporters, we've been able to survive and advance. It's kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament, you know, the one that the UCLA Bruins used to be in year after year. All right, so that was the olden days. But EWP was like that, survive and advance every time. And now we have this pandemic. And I have to be honest with you, this may be the most serious challenge that the theater has faced in its 54-year history. But I'm confident that with all the people watching tonight, including people all across the country, that you will all rise up and support the theater, enable it to survive and advance and even to thrive. And I thank you in advance for your support. Now, I've been at East West for over a quarter of a century. And, a lot of people ask, what keeps you going? No, really, why are you still hanging around? I mean, other than the fact that there's no term limits in our bylaws. So let me tell you a little story that maybe give you some insight into that. One of the first things I saw at East West Players was the Stephen Sondheim musical Into the Woods. This was about 1992. Now, when I was growing up, it was very rare to see an Asian face on television other than maybe in a stereotypical role. So here I am in the theater watching this musical, and I'm thinking, wow, Asian Americans singing and dancing. What a concept. And also, wow, those people are really talented. They deserve a chance to play these kind of lead roles and not just roles as Chinese waiters and geisha girls. And it got me to thinking, and it really sparked my imagination. And so when I had the opportunity to join the board a couple years later, I jumped at that chance. And then later, as I started devoting more and more of my pro bono legal time for advocacy efforts, including as chair of the Asian Pacific American Media Coalition, where we work in coalition with African Americans, Latinx, Native Americans to advocate for greater diversity, representation, and inclusion of people of color, including Asian Americans, in the entertainment industry, I came to realize the important role EWP played in building a robust pipeline of Asian American talent to get the training they needed, to get those opportunities, and to really have a shot at making a career out of this, to get on the stage, to be in television, and to be in motion pictures. And that I found very gratifying, and that's what's really kept me going over the years. I'm really grateful for the support I've received from the law firms I've been associated with, Leopold Petrich and Smith, and now Ballard Spahr, who have given me the space to be an activist. And I'm thrilled to say that the second career I started a couple years ago working for the UCLA School of Law has been a dream. I get to train law students to represent documentary filmmakers pro bono. And I see that as just another opportunity for me to help underrepresented storytellers get their stories out to the public, stories that might not otherwise be told by the mainstream. Before I close, I want to thank my colleagues in the community as well as in the entertainment industry for being my great partners in advocacy. I want to thank my friends and family, including my mother who turned 91 last month. Happy birthday, Mom. Thank you so much for your support, not only of me, but also of East West Players over the years. A quick shout out to my talented daughter, Casey, who shares my love of musical theater, and a special love and appreciation for my lovely and long-suffering wife, Susan Rosales, who has stuck with me despite my absence over so many years and so many community meetings, etc. Thank you so much for this great honor.
Thank you, Dan, and congratulations again. Thank you so very much for your over 2 decades of service to East West Players. We are hoping for 2 more decades. Over the last few weeks, many of us were riveted by the new documentary Asian Americans on PBS. The series was a stark reminder of how little our history is known in this country, how little it is spoken about in terms of our contributions, as well as the injustices we have faced and overcome. Every year, East West Players arts education programs reach thousands of students throughout the Los Angeles area. With these programs, we try to bridge that gap that renders us invisible. COVID-19 closed our Theater for Youth show this year before it could open. What we have done since then is take most of our programs online. We have made the study guides and recordings available of past performances for teachers and students to access for free. Your support tonight will ensure that these stories get told and that we don't just tell our stories here in Los Angeles, but throughout the country. My hope is that we use this time to change and affect the narrative that is around us. that the fight against these dual viruses of the coronavirus and racism bring us together and empower us to speak up and speak out. So any contribution you make during this time will help us on that journey. You can text to 44321 EWP GIVE. You can actually call us tonight at 213-625-7000, or you can visit our website. No gift is too big or too small. Please don't make me put on another virtual fundraiser. Now, to talk about some of these programs, particularly our PEAK program, we have our artist, one of our artists in residence, Napoleon Tavale, and also one of our students that went through the PEAK program, Kayla Pincus. So I'm gonna turn it over to the two of them to talk a little bit about what the program was like for Kayla.
My name is Napoleon Tavale. To the PEAK students, I am known as Mr. Tavale. I'm one of the PEAK instructors. I'm an actor, writer, director, and producer. And here's one of my favorite students, Kayla. Kayla, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kayla Pincus, and I'm one of the PEAK students.
Woo! For PEAK program, I mean, I want to go back to the beginning of this. Do you remember your first PEAK class?
Yeah, and you showed us a picture, and we had to like write a monologue based off that picture. It was so fun, and my person ended up working at Target. Who knew?
Now let's go to the next part. What did we do after that? Is this where I think I may have gave some parameters, right? We give it a history. Yeah. We give it a history for this person to bring it.
Yeah, we started off like writing names and birthdays and like getting the basic stuff out. And then we just like used our imaginations were just like all over the place. There were some really funny ones too.
Right, you had to write your own, and you came up with those ideas from collaborating with all of your classmates. Was there a favorite part that you had in all of that activity that we did together? You were writing your own monologues, all of you.
Yeah, we got to do all aspects of it, not just like performing and acting,
right.
But we actually, we got to write it. We got
improvisation,
use our imagination, stuff like that.
When we made our transition from school, right, where we rehearse at school, and then how was that for you when we took that transition from rehearsing at your school stage and then onto the professional stage in downtown Los Angeles at East West Players? Do you remember that first feeling of
we've kind of gotten used there, and then you go to the stage, you're like, whoa, like this is like real. It's like the stage, or like there's this big audience that's gonna be sitting there, and like you're just like really amazed, and you just take it all in, like this is really happening, and then you get really happy and excited. But I think it's just me, but whenever I go on stage, I don't get nervous until right before I get on stage. Like it's not like I'm nervous like the whole time before, it's just like right before I get on stage. But then you start performing, and then you're all happy and you forget about it and just live in the moment, and you feel so happy.
That's amazing.
East West Players means so much to me. I'm in the playwrights group right now, and in 2018 I co-wrote Kite On Project with East West Players and Rogue Artists, and also East West was my first equity gig out of college. I can't say how grateful I am for this community.
Hi, I'm June Angela. The legendary Danny Glover and I did Philip Kahn Gotanda's Johan at East West Players in 2017. Being on stage with Danny in a 2-character play was an experience I will always cherish and I will never forget. Thank you, East West Players.
Please consider making a donation to East West Players so that they can continue their 54-year legacy of advocacy for Asian Americans in the arts. Thank you.
With me now are some of the cast members from EWP's production of Assassins. We had to halt production on the eve of previews due to the pandemic. We do hope to bring the show back, but like so many things currently, there are still a lot of unknowns. What I did want to do is talk with some of this company, this extraordinary company, about their experiences on the show. So let's start with the one and only Geddy Watanabe, who played Charlie Gateau. Eddy, you have quite the Sondheim journey. You were in the original Broadway production of Pacific Overtures.
I was younger then.
What do you like about doing Sondheim musicals, or what has that experience been like? It's been now, almost 4 decades that you've been in, from Pacific Overtures to Assassins?
I think it's the challenge, but also the fear of doing it right. I just dive into it and hopefully I come up with something.
And I mean, with Gateau, it felt like you really connected to that character. I know you did a ton of research.
Yeah, no, he was totally insane, but he kind of, the predicament of our country, it made sense that I played somebody like him because he kind of reminds me of somebody in the White House. It was exciting for me because it was something that I never played before. Actually, I've never played somebody insane before, which I really wanted to do. And I didn't know if I could pull it off. And EWP giving me the opportunity to do it.
Chris, you played Samuel Bick, and you've been auditioning for East West Players shows for how many years now? This was your 14th audition, I know, but how many years has it been?
Technically, I auditioned the first time. It would have been 21 years ago. Estancia, were you born yet? But
yes, I can vote.
And here's a funny story. The first show I picked that I was going to audition for, I saw they were opening their season, East West Players season, with Steel Magnolia. So I'm like, oh, I'll audition to be one of the husbands, forgetting that the stage version only has 6 women in it. So I'm like, oops. I guess I'll wait for the one after that. So I've just been coming back, and hoping that there would be a fit eventually, and Assassins was it. This cast, the way that you and your whole production team and East West Players Company treated all of us was amazing. It was better than I could have hoped for, and it was, I think, worth the wait in terms of the fit. Playing Samuel Bick was just, I didn't know how. It was such a good fit. I haven't worked with a cast before that was so well cast. The entire cast is so suited for their roles, even though we're all of color. But it was better than I expected it to be. It was better.
Your Samuel Bick was something. He both was very, very funny and angry, and then he had an edge, and just you were so compelling to watch on stage. Andrea, you are in a similar situation. You've done a lot of theater, a lot of musical theater. Like Chris, you work a lot, but you hadn't been in an East West Players show before.
I auditioned, and then, like Chris said, it was so worth the wait. Like this, I felt like this was absolutely meant to be my East West Players debut. Not just for the sole purpose of I had an incredible time doing this show and had so many, and it was so challenging in the sense that I played so many different roles in the ensemble, but also just being surrounded by such incredible performers of color. It was truly special.
And you were so heartbreaking in that 11th hour number, if you will. And we have our 3 A's. We have Estancia, Eric, and Adam. Eric with an A, and Adam. So, Estancia, this is kind of like your professional debut. You're now getting equity EMC points because of the show and your candidate.
The experience itself and working for EWP was something I thought about often beforehand and strived for, and then to finally get the call and get the opportunity and then find out who I was going to share the opportunity with. That was the dream come true of it all. And it's just getting to learn from them every day and be inspired by them every single day and just see how generous they were. I can't wait to get back together. I really can't. But all in all, it was just.
I agree. I mean, we have so many folks like Eddy and Joan who have, been doing this for decades, but they're so generous and warm. Yeah. And it's so great to watch their process, and then also to be inspired by them in the room. So don't tell Eddy I said that. Don't tell him I said that. Eric.
Process.
Hey, what's it like to have a porn stash? What's about what that was? How did that help you find character?
During all my Zoom meetings, everybody really loves it. My Zoom stash. It's great. It's good to still have it, saving it up. Yeah, no, it's good, and it's good to see everybody. It's such a great experience it was. I mean, it feels like a dream now almost, but being at the theater, backstage with everybody during this production was so fun.
Once we got in it, I was like, oh, this is hard, right? I think it was like, in terms of the song, canon, it was my first time working on a Sondheim musical. I think many of you also. And as we got into it, it is smart, but it is, challenging, particularly this one, a very challenging piece.
Piece is not easy, but so fun to sing too.
Yeah.
Like just his musicianship and composing, it's just masterful. And it just takes you. Like I step into that number, and while very dark, the music is so powerful that it just transports you,
And last but not least, you also were making your East West Players debut, but you've been doing musical theater for a long time. You left the Miss Saigon National Tour to join us to play the Balladeer and Lee Harvey Oswald. Particularly, you had two roles that were very different to shape, right? Particularly the Balladeer.
The piece itself is just so wonderful. The music, the script, the story, and I just never thought that it would be something that any of us would get to do. As a person who is not, Caucasian, could come in and play these roles, especially Lee Harvey Oswald, who is such a controversial figure in our history. What I really loved about the experience working with you, Snehal, is just kind of discovering it together. We kind of had an idea of what we were telling, but I think the reciprocal energy between you and I, as well as the rest of the cast and what everyone kind of brought to the table, helped lead what ended up being the product that we kind of created. I really appreciated feeling like I was part of the community.
I actually had done other Sondheim shows. As Adam was saying that, I realized why everything exceeded my expectations, finally getting to work with East West Players. In those shows, I was the only actor of color. I've had a great theater career because of being cast against type. I'm usually the only Asian or actor of color in the entire cast. So getting to work with this amazing cast with all their energy, but also bringing that we're all actors of color to a Sondheim piece that is supposed to be all white, because historically we see the pictures, those characters are all white. Getting an opportunity to play these roles, getting to work with this amazing supportive cast, and that this thing brought it all together. It was amazing. It was downright spiritual. And I'm not that spiritual, but for me this was very spiritual.
I think I'm a little biased, but I thought our production was truly something very special. It was timely, it was subversive, it was wickedly funny. Why don't we take a little bit of a look at a sneak peek at a song from our production? And I want to thank you all for joining us.
It takes a lot of men to make a gun. Hundreds, many men to make a gun. Men in the mines to dig the iron, men at the mills to forge the steel, men at machines to turn the barrel, mold the trigger, shape the wheel. It takes a lot of men to make a gun. One gun. And all you have to do is move your little finger. Move your little finger and you can change the world. Why should you be blue when your little finger prove how just a little finger can change the world?
What a wonder is a gun. What a versatile invention. First of all, when you've a gun. Everybody pays attention. Think of all that you can do. Remove not a man to overlook. Ha ha! And all you have to do is squeeze your little finger, ease your little finger back. You can change the world, whatever else do you trust your little finger. Just a single little finger can change the world.
I got this really great gun. Shit, where is it? Oh, it's really great. Wait, shit, where is it? It's just a 38, but it's a gun. You can make a statement. Go on with a gun, even if you fail. Tell them who you are, where you stand. This wasn't tailing. You're not to shoot. Well, actually, the shoot was to. No, that's not it. Shit, I had it here. Got it. Yeah, damn
And all you have to do is crook your little finger round.
I shot it.
You can change the world. Simply follow through and look. Your little finger can slow them down to a crawl.
Show them all.
Big and small.
It took a little finger, no time to change the
Oh, hey there! My name is Grant Chang. Not to be mistaken for Wen Chang, but I can see how that can happen because I was in a co-production of East West Players and Pasadena Playhouse's The Great Leap, written by Lauren Yee and directed by Tony Award winner B.D. Wong. It was one of the best experiences of my life, and I'll tell you why, because as an Asian American actor, I got to be a lead in a play telling an extraordinary Asian American story. That is why an organization like East West Players is so invaluable. We need to keep telling our Asian American stories, and we need to do it now more than ever.
So long before I ever really had plays up, I remember looking at East West Players' website and just being amazed by all the Asian American work being created out there. It really opened up a world for me that I never really thought might exist out there. And so I think just being able to work with those artists and work with East West Players at this point in my career kind of has brought everything full circle. And I'm just so grateful for not just the work that they do, but the ways in which they create community, not just in LA, but nationally. And I think that's something really worth supporting.
We all know times are difficult right now, but if you're able, our stories matter now more than ever. Please donate to East West Players.
I first met our next honoree way back in 2014. She was an up-and-coming TV writer, and I was a fledgling producer working on my very first project. Now, we came together to work on a show that had aired in Korea and I wanted to bring to the US. Now, as my first project, it was super important to me and I needed the right writer to do it. That show was called The Good Doctor, and that writer was named Adele Lim. And though the project didn't move forward, that development cycle, I can tell you that it was certainly no fault of Adele's. She worked tirelessly. She was a fantastic collaborator, and the script that she wrote, in my humble opinion, is worth putting on the air at any network, even today. Since then, though, let's just say that she's landed on her feet. From writing on shows like Star-Crossed to Rain to Lethal Weapon, she's steadily climbed the ladder of the TV world to build a formidable reputation for herself. On film, though, I'm sorry to say she struggled a bit, with her only real credit being a small little film that I can barely remember the name of. What was it called? Ah, yes, I think it's called Crazy Rich Asians. Yes, folks, Adele was an integral part of the team that changed our history in cinema forever. And as proud as we may be of her for providing the authenticity that story so crucially required, we can be even more proud of her for being able to walk away from any future participation because she could not achieve the pay parity her contributions merited. So many people in Hollywood talk the talk. Trust me, this town is filled with people like that. But Adele has shown us that she really walks the walk. And that integrity is one of the many reasons I adore her, both as a professional and as a person. Now, no need to feel sorry for her, though. Since then, her talent has only taken her higher, most recently writing the latest Disney blockbuster animated film, Raya and the Last Dragon, slated for release in 2021. And she's also been paying it forward by forming her own production company with two other kick-ass writers, Cherry Chiva and Teresa Shao. Called Prosperity and Rue, it was created to empower Asian American women in the industry to take control of their own careers and stop asking for permission. Like I said, formidable. Now, Adele really has become someone that any of us in this business would be lucky to work with. She brings a level of professionalism, hard work, collaborative spirit, and, of course, talent to everything she does. And all while being an absolute joy to work with. Funny, down to earth, and just all around cool. It truly is my honor to introduce to you a most deserving Visionary Award honoree, Ms. Adele Lim. Congratulations, Adele.
Hi, family. Thank you so much to the East West Players Committee for this amazing honor. I view this award as a celebration of all of us, busting our butts, putting our stories front and center. When I came to this industry, I was very much an outsider. Asian, female, and a recent immigrant. I didn't know what Zima or Tivas or Whippets were, still have trouble wrapping my head around that. And like many of you, I found it very challenging breaking into an industry and writing stories and characters and worlds that could not have been further from who I was or my experiences. But things are changing now, they're different. Thanks to the tenacious fighting spirit of our community and our homegrown organizations such as East West Players, Cape, and Gold House, the landscape is more diverse and vibrant than it's ever been before. It's full of these rising, brilliant AAPI talent that I could not be more excited to work with. And let's face it, especially in times like these, uncertain times, the world looks to Hollywood, looks to us for entertainment and more importantly for refuge. So let's be there for each other and let's not lose this moment, our moment, and this momentum. Thank you.
For 55 years, East West Players has been creatively promoting Asian visibility on stage. In these times of COVID-19, your financial support is ever more important so that our East West Players can continue portraying Asian Americans in a positive light and putting our stories on full blast.
The first show that I did directly out of college was Mysterious Skin at East West Players. It was directed by Tim Dang, written by Prince Golmovilis. It was an incredible experience. And I often say that I can trace back everything I've done in this industry back to that production. And the reason is that East West Players invited me into a network that opened doors for me and created so many opportunities. And I am so forever grateful for that.
And I just hope that the next generation will have this place for all of its multifaceted opportunities in the years to come.
Congratulations, Adele, and thank you, Daniel, for that wonderful intro. A big congratulations to all of our honorees, Adele, Dan, and the Aratani Foundation for all of your hard work and support of East West Players. And now we are at the end of our program. We are almost at our goal, so if you have not made a pledge or a donation yet, please go to eastwestplayers.org, or you can text EWP GIVE to 44321. Again, EWP GIVE to 44321, or you can call me and I will come pick up the check in a socially distant way, as long as it's above 10K, please. And we are so glad to have you join us. Now to take it away is, with our finale, is one of my favorite songs from the musical Rent, that it is full of many familiar faces and helps us to think about not just the future and where we've been, but this moment we are in and where we go from here.
Hello everybody, my name is AJ Rafael. Good evening. Thank you once again for joining us at the gala tonight virtually. I wish I could be with you all in person. You may know me from Mamma Mia as Pepper in last year's production at East West Players, and also as a producer and music director of Crazy Talented Asians, which we brought to East West Players last November and last May as well. I was offered and of course accepted the task of bringing people together tonight with cast members from last couple of musical productions, from Chess, Beijing Spring, Takarazuka, Tommy, Criers for Hire, Lacage, my personal favorite next to Normal, Allegiance, of course Mamma Mia, Assassins, and Crazy Talented Asians as well. I wanted to bring everyone together as well, not just to stand for representation, which we obviously need in the theater industry and the entertainment industry, but also to show solidarity for one another in our stand against racism, oppression, and injustice. So without further ado, it is my honor to have crashed my computer several times. This is Finale B from Rent. Love you all.
There is no future, there is no past. Thank God this moment's not the last.
There's only us, there's only this. Forget, regret, or life is yours to miss. No other road, no other way, no day but today. Life is my dignity. My someone care. I might waste tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Jody Long. During these hard times, it's so important for Asian American stories to be heard. So please join me in contributing to help support the arts at East West Players and help them continue doing what they've been doing for 54 years.
You may know me from Dr. Ken, where I play Ken Jeong's dad, or Birds of Prey, where I play Doc. Some may even know me from Rambo First Blood Part 2. I've had a modicum of success as an actor, and East West Players played a huge role in shaping my career and the careers of many other actors.
In this time when theaters all across the country are taking an intermission, in this time when accurate Asian American representation is vital, your donation to East West Players is more important than ever. It will allow us to take this legacy that was created generations ago and bring it to generations and generations and generations after us. So please give what you can. If you can give a little, there's no amount that's too small. If you can give a lot, come on, I see you with your Birkin bag. I see you with your Louis Vuitton wallet. Give, give, give. Give to East West Players. Thank you so much.
Amazing. So wonderful to see all of those faces. Thank you to AJ Rafael for bringing all those folks together. Actors spanning over 25 years of EWP history and dozens of shows were seen in that video. I want to extend a big thank you to everyone who has helped bring this evening together. A thank you to our honorees, Dan Mayeda, Adele Lim, and the Aratani Foundation. A big thank you to Linda Aratani. I'm proud to announce that we have reached our goal of $200,000, and we have a stretch goal since it's an online campaign, so please keep those donations coming. Our silent auction is also live until Wednesday. Thank you again to our board of directors, advisory council, and gala committee for all of their help in putting the event together. And a huge thank you to the incredibly hardworking East West Players staff, Simone, Andy, Meredith, Shantae, and Jade for all of the work they put in, as well as our producers of the musical performances you saw tonight, AJ Rafael, Marc McAlintal, Jane Louie, and Preston Mui. We want to thank our silent auction partners, your great event, and thank all of the presenters, hosts, and performers for all their time and hard work and talent in putting this show together. And thank you for supporting East West Players. Remember to register and vote. We look forward to seeing you at the theater soon. Be safe and well.